So today I got quite a bit going on. I'm getting ready to go deliver some beef tomorrow, so I need to get the truck ready. I need to get my deep freezers on the truck so I can go pick up the beef from the butcher. Need to get the cows fed. Then seeing we got another new calf out there too that needs to be taken care of. So I got plenty to do and not a lot of time to do it. So to finish getting this truck ready to go, I need to take this ton bale off the back and grab these two deep freezers and put them on the back of the truck in its place. So those are just two old deep freezers that don't work anymore, and I just rounded them up and I use them to, haul my beef in. They work great. They're just like giant coolers. And I've got three steers that I need to pick up from the butcher. We're taking them down to Salt Lake, so that's what I use to transport them down there in. So to get down to Salt Lake, that's about 230 miles for me. So I'm going to take this plow off the front of the truck also, just so I'm not hauling that all the way down there. So for those of you that are wondering why I drive around with a bale on the back of my truck, it's just to give me a little bit of weight on those back duals when I'm plowing snow. Just helps me have a little bit more traction to push a little bit more snow, not spin out so much. There's our new calf right there. Mama cow was kind of ornery and protective. I got her tagged and got her vaccinated, and luckily it was just a heifer, so I didn't have to try to band it too. So just running in the house real quick. I've got a bunch of these blankets that I use to divide the different orders of beef. These are what I use to separate the mortars and the deep freezes. I'm gonna grab all those. And if I run out of these insulated blankets, then I got some sheets also that I can use to divide them with. So grab these and then we'll run up to the butcher and get our beef picked up. So we got all of our beef loaded up. So there's 3 good sized steers in these deep freezes. This front one here is totally full all the way to the top. And this back one here, it's a little bit smaller. Let's see if I can show you a little bit. I mean, not by much, maybe 1.5 feet in length less is all. But it's probably about that full. So we probably could have fit another half a beef in there, but that would have been it. So we're ready for tomorrow. I'm gonna leave first thing in the morning and get this beef delivered tomorrow. I guess the nice thing about living in a freezer, you don't have to worry about your beef thawing out overnight. So one of the last things on my to-do list today is just getting this plow detached from the truck. For anybody wondering where my bumper's at, when I bought this truck, oh, it's probably been 5 or 6 years ago, it had an aftermarket bumper on it, and when they went to mount the plow, the bumper stuck out too far, where all these brackets in the frame here, the plow hit the bumper. So I'm just in the process of looking for just a stock bumper to put back on the truck, just so I got a bumper going down the road. Don't look too redneck. So luckily these plows are pretty easy to dismount. Pretty much just have to pull this pin here, there's another pin on the other side, and undo all your cables. And then there's a little jack here that you drop down onto the ground, and that holds this back end of the plow up. And it just slides right out of these mounting brackets here. We got the plow off and we're pretty much set to go tomorrow. Just gonna walk out here and check on our cows before it gets dark and go inside and have some dinner. I've been watching the weather, and of course tomorrow, you know, when I want to leave, they got a winter storm coming in tomorrow afternoon. It's calling for 8 to 12 inches, and so I was planning on staying down there at my in-laws house for a day and spend the night down there, but with that storm coming in tomorrow, I'm probably just gonna leave pretty early in the morning, try to get down there, do all my deliveries, and then get back here tomorrow night. I don't know what time it will be, but I want to be back. This storm's going to hit, so I can come out here and you know be checking on my cows and stuff, and you know, be with my family. What do you think you're doing, cow? So right there, that's that newest calf that we just had earlier today. This cow's stalking me or something. I'm not after your baby. Get back. This winter's been so nice, just not having to worry too much about this slough freezing over. For the most part of this winter, it stayed open, just with how mild it's been. We just had this calf yesterday. She's doing really good also. So you guys, this night has just been sheer stupidity, just insane things going on. I'm gonna show you what's going on. Look at this shit. Been trying to find this calf for like 5 hours this afternoon. And finally found it. Right in the middle of the slough. So now I gotta try to figure out how to get it up and out of here. Jeez. Jeez, dumbass. Jeez. I'm gonna run it back and throw it in that calf warmer. So guys, I'm gonna stop the video right here. I'm gonna show you where this is all happening at and tell you about what happened today and how we ended up getting into this situation. This right here is where that calf is in the water at. I don't know if this camera does it justice, but you can see how steep these banks are and how tall they are, you know, from the river there, from the slough. So if you recall from earlier in the video, when I was out checking cows that afternoon, I had that one mama cow that was following me around, number 47, acting like I had her calf, or, you know, that she'd lost her calf and she was thinking that I had it. You know, but I didn't think much of it because, you know, cows do that sometimes. They see me walk out there and they think I'm gonna take their calf, so I didn't really think much of it. So luckily for that calf, it was one of my newer calves. And when I go out here and check on cows, you know, I kind of just generally look over the herd, I look at the calves, but I make sure I lay eyes on my newest calves. So I make sure every time I go out and check on my calves that I lay eyes on every calf that is between a day old and like 3 days old. That's kind of the window that I have. So in my mind, when I'm checking on calves, I know which numbers I'm looking for. So when I was doing my rounds that day, I knew I was looking for calf number 16, calf number 17, and calf number 18. So I was gonna make sure I laid eyes on those 3 calves just to make sure they were doing good, because those are our newest calves. And calf number 16, this one that was in the slough, just happened to be the calf of that cow, number 47. And so I was doing my rounds and I couldn't find number 16. And I looked and I looked. I spent, I don't know, I bet I spent an hour out here just looking for that calf. And on that day, I don't know if you can see the calf shelters over there on the other side of that fence. The whole herd was in that pasture. So it's not a huge pasture and it's all open. And so I should have been able to find that calf. I looked and I looked. I thought, well, maybe it's hiding in a tractor rut or somewhere, but I could not find it. And that mom, you know, the way she was acting kind of got me more and more concerned, because she was wandering around and couldn't find the calf and, you know, bellering, and usually the calf will, you know, bell her back, but nothing. So I kept looking well past dark, and I even came over here into this other pasture, you know, where we feed at on our second day. I came into this area here. I started walking all along the slough here. It's kind of what I was figuring, that somehow that calf got into the slough and was somewhere in the slough. I don't know if it had drowned or if it was just, you know, standing somewhere where I could find it. Started over here and I walked all along the slough bank here, all the way over here. I crossed the fence into the pasture where the cows were. I walked all along the slough bank, all the way up and over here, up and over that way. So I was breaking through all that snow, you know, looking in the slough trying to find that calf, and I still couldn't find it. So I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't find the calf and it was late, so I just went back home and went and had some dinner. Then Lindsay and I came back out here on the side-by-side and looked all over the place. We even went over here in this other pasture where we feed out on the second day. We drove all around here looking, same thing, looking the sloughs, just looked again. We still couldn't find it, and that cow was still, you know, looking for her calf. So I went and dropped Lindsay back off at the house, and I ended up going and getting into the green Deutz Alice tractor, and I was going to take it over into this other pasture, because my last hope was that maybe the cow or something had somehow gotten over here and maybe bedded that calf down along that far fence line. I just couldn't see it. But the snow's so deep I can't walk out there, and I couldn't get the side-by-side out there, so I took the tractor. So you can kind of see where the cows are at now. That's where the bridge is for the slough. So I drove the tractor all the way out here, and I was heading over to that corner of the pasture, and I just happened to shine my flashlight back this way, and I could see the calf kind of standing right in this area. I could see his eyes shining. So what must have happened is I was walking along the slough looking for that calf. It must have been so close to the bank that I couldn't see it, you know, looking down this way. I could see the rest of the slough, but I couldn't see this very closest bank because of the snow's so tall. So I just had that blind spot there that I couldn't see. So when I went over to the other side and looked back, I could see the calf along the bank here. So the only way I can think that that calf got this far down the slough is, like I said, the cows were over in this pasture eating for that day, and this slough wraps all the way around, and they've got 2 or 3 spots where they come down and water at. I don't know if that calf got in the water up there somehow, and it just walked all the way down the slough, kept coming this way, you know, through the fences here, and then just got to this point, and this is where we found it. Because as I was walking along the slough, I didn't notice any tracks going into the water, like, you know, falling off the bank or anything. The only tracks that I seen was way over there where the cows go down to water. So that's the only way I can think that that calf got this far down the slough. So I feel very lucky that I caught that calf when I did, because like I said, I think it was just walking down the slough trying to find a place to get out. So I caught that calf right in here, and if he would have kept coming, he would end up right in here. So this is a pretty strong ripple here, and it gets really deep right in this pool. So if he would have made it through that deep spot, that deep pool there's still no place for him to get out, and then he would have ended up here at the bridge, and maybe he would have got stuck through the culverts. Then on the other side of that bridge is another deep pool. So I just think if he would have went much further, he probably wouldn't have made it. So that's how we got to this point. You know, middle of the night, 25 degrees outside, with a calf in the water. Be a rancher, they said. It'll be fun, they said. So I'm gonna throw this calf in the calf warmer, but I've already got a calf in here already. This is a newborn calf. Just trying to warm him up and get him going. Not really sure why he's struggling so much, but he's been in here about 45 minutes. So I'm gonna pull him out. I need to drench him, give him his vaccines, tag him, and all that jazz. So while I'm doing that, I'll put the other calf in there, just try to get him warmed up a bit. He seems pretty vocal, so I don't think he's too cold, but he's probably got hypothermia from being in that slough for, crap, I don't know, 5 hours, 6 hours, however long it's been. So I'm just gonna go back to the house, get all my stuff ready for this new calf. You know, like I said, I'm gonna probably drench him, tag him and all that. Then when I'm done with that, I'll take out that calf out of that warmer, as long as he doesn't break out of there by the time we get back. Then we'll run and take him back to his mom. And then we'll leave this new calf in the warmer for another hour or so probably. All right, this guy needs to get back in the warmer, so let's see how old Michael Phelps is doing in here. So by the time this is all said and done, it's probably gonna be close to 1:30 or so before I get into bed. And I was wanting to get up about 4:45 and start heading down to Salt Lake, but I might have to push that back a little bit in the morning, because that'll only be about 4 hours of sleep. And I could probably do it, but I don't really want to. So let's do the swap and then get this calf back out to his mom. Lose something? Well, he's acting a little bit hungry. He's chasing the wrong mom, and his mom's chasing him, and half the herd's running halfway across the pasture, so we'll just let them figure it out on their own. I'll be back out here in an hour or so, bringing back the other calf, so we'll check on him then. Well, I guess I'm just gonna hang out by the fire for the next hour or so while that calf's warming up. My boots are still full of water and my pants are about wet up to my thighs, so see if I can get dried off a little bit before I have to come back out. Luckily it hasn't been too cold of a night. I think 25 degrees is what I saw last, so nothing too crazy. Well, you guys, it's just past 1:30. This calf's been in there for about an hour and a half. So we'll take her out to her mom and see if we can get him to mother back up. I'm not sure what the deal was with this calf and the mom. The cow's a little bit older and she hasn't really done the best through this winter. So that might be part of it. But I'm hoping now that this calf's warmed back up and has a belly full of colostrum in him, that he does good and he'll mother up with his mom and start getting her colostrum out of her. So the mom doesn't seem too interested in this calf, but over here where she was laying is a bunch of the afterbirth. So I'm going to kind of smear this afterbirth on that calf, see if that does anything. So hopefully you can see that she's licking some of that afterbirth off that calf, so I'll just kind of let them be and hopefully they mother back up all right. Well, you guys, it's past 2 o'clock now, so I'm gonna go see what sleep I can get and see what time I can get up in the morning and start heading down to Utah to get this beef delivered. So we'll see you in the morning. Well, it's just after 7:30, so I got just under 5 hours of sleep. We're out here, check on the cows again, check on that calf, and we'll try to get heading to Utah. I'm kind of worried about that new calf. I got that mom to lick on him a little bit last night, but after that she didn't seem to be too interested in mothering back up to him or her. But I rubbed all that afterbirth on him and just left him and just hoping that she'd mother up to him, but my hopes weren't too high. I think she's just an old cow and I just don't know if she has it in her to raise another calf or what her deal is. But we're out here and check on him, check on her. I don't know why I keep on calling it him. So it's not looking very good. Here's our new calf from last night, right here inside the shelter. And before I got the camera on, I watched him try to nurse off that cow and get kicked down. And he's probably gonna go try to nurse off of this cow and get beat up. There's mom's, that cow right there laying down, not even concerned. I can tell she hasn't nursed off of her though, because her teats are so dirty still. Unless it's just from laying down through the night, but they look pretty dirty. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back, get maybe another half a dose colostrum. I might just do a full dose because I'm gonna be gone all day. And I might drench her again, and just come back and check on her tonight whenever I get home. So if you're wondering about our calf that went swimming last night, at least this mom was smart enough to put him in this shelter. That's him right there, number 16, laying down. You can see him. It's okay, Mom. I'm just checking his mouth. His mouth's nice and warm, so I think he's doing pretty good. So I changed my mind. I've been watching that calf and the cow for a little bit just from my window. And that calf's going up and down the cow, trying to figure out how to nurse. The cow still doesn't seem too concerned about him. Like he'll wander off a little ways and she doesn't follow him, and she'll kind of mosey over there, in a little bit. So I think I'm just going to give it half a dose of colostrum, let him be, and hopefully that doesn't get him too full, that he still has that desire and wants to nurse on the mom, because I really don't want to have another bottle fed calf this year. after having pepper last year. That's a lot of work. So we're gonna give them half a dose, and we're gonna get on the road. See, like I said, she's out here bellering. That's the mom there. She just doesn't seem very concerned about it. She's letting it wander up and down her. So I don't know. This is always a hard decision. It's always hard to know like how much to intervene, and you know, for me, a lot of the times doing nothing's the hardest thing for me to do. So I have a hard time just sitting around and watching, especially today where I'm going to be gone all day. If I was here to watch her all day, that'd be different, but this morning, like I said, I got to leave, so I think this is going to be the best decision. She already walked right up to me too. So she's showing some interest in the calf, just not a whole lot. Like she licks it and gets up and just walks away. I don't know. I need to, after these last couple years having to deal with this mothering up problems, I need to just get a shelter out here where I can put the two together. I don't know what else to do for him today. We'll just check on her tonight when we get home. I'm sure you can't really see it with the GoPro. That cow and that calf walked over here and they're kind of by themselves. So I guess that's the best case scenario you could hope for. So I'm about 3 hours later than what I wanted to be getting on the road. I guess that's kind of what happens when you try to make plans. Them cows sure have a knack for ruining them. So I just finished delivering my third share of beef. I got 4 more shares to deliver. I just stopped here at my in-laws' house to take a break for a second and use the bathroom. But look what they got on their front yard here. See that green stuff there? It's called grass. Believe it or not. So if you just drive 3.5 hours, 250 miles south of us, you run into grass. Pretty nice down here to come in the winter. We sure like it. So for anyone wondering how well this beef keeps in these deep freezes, it's as hard as a rock. So it's been in there about 24 hours and it hasn't even started to thaw yet. So my in-laws just took me out to dinner, so I'm just getting back from that, and we got one more delivery to do. It's a little ways out of town here, so we'll get that last one done and we'll start heading home. It's a little after 7 now. So I'm hoping to be heading home by 8:30 is what I'm hoping. And that'll put us home probably 12:30 or 1. Then I was talking to Lindsay and she said we've got 2 new calves today. So we'll get home and have to deal with that when we get there. And hopefully we can beat the storm that's coming too.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
Well, you guys, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. We just made it home. Unfortunately, our night isn't over yet. So I gotta go out and check on these 2 calves that we had today. And Lindsay doesn't think that that new calf mothered up. So it just kind of wandered around by itself all day. So we probably gotta go out there and give it a bottle. So we'll get that done and hopefully get to bed here before too long. So I mixed up a bottle of colostrum for that calf that I don't think mothered up. I know we're a little ways past the 24-hour mark, you know, for absorbing colostrum, but I think we're still, you know, pretty close enough that I wanted to give it a try. And I brought out my vaccines and tags to hopefully get them other 2 tagged and vaccinated tonight too, so I don't have to worry about them. So I think first I'm gonna find that calf, give it its bottle, and see if we can't find these 2 new calves, see how they're doing. Well, it took me a minute to find that calf, but it was just hiding here in the back of this calf shed behind all these other calves, so I'm gonna check on them real fast. So we got that calf taken care of. Her mouth was still warm, so I don't know if she sucked or not, or if that's just from the colostrum I gave her this morning. So at least tomorrow I'll be able to be around a bit more and see what's going on with her and the mom. So let's go find them other 2 calves, new calves, and see if we can't get them tagged and vaccinated. There's one down. Lindsay said she thought there was 2 new calves, so we'll see if we can find the second one. Well, you guys, I looked for that second new calf for about 20 or 30 minutes and I can't find it. So I don't know if maybe Lindsay was just mistaken and she thought there's a second new calf. There just wasn't, but I couldn't find it, so I'm gonna call it a night. It's almost 3 o'clock, so I'm ready to go to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.